Here, unfortunately, the premise is complex, and so its truth value isn't yet filled out. So let's see if we can be strategic here and try to do this sort of with filling in as few boxes as possible. Well, if we look at this, at x if and only if z, well, that's going to be fairly simple to calculate because it has a very shallow tree. The tree, this premise, this has a more complicated tree. It's deeper, it goes further down, and it's got 2 branches here. So this is going to take longer to do than this. So that's going to be this one is going to be easy to calculate. So let's see, x if and only if z. Well, we can actually do this fairly quickly. So the biconditional is true if the two components have the same truth value, if they're both true or they're both false, and the biconditional is false if they have different truth values. So here we have true, true, so that's true. Here we have true, true, so again it's true. Here we have true, false, so again it's false. Here we have true, false, so it's false. Here we have false, true, so it's false. Here we have false, true, so it's false. Here we have false, false, so they're having the same truth value again, so it's going back to true. And then we have false, false again, so they have the same truth value, so it's true. Now, I wasn't paying attention to whether or not the rows were good or bad there. Bad or okay. I just knew, I can fill this out quickly. And so let me just do that. And now this tells me this row is okay, this row is okay, this row is okay, this row is okay, because they all have at least one false premise. And so I'm not going to need to look at any of these boxes to find out about this row, because look, they're all false. So now I can focus on just these 4 rows, because those are the rows that we don't yet know, are they bad or okay. If this is true and that's false, 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 then those respective rows would be bad. They might not turn out that way. We don't know. So what we need to do now is look at them. And again, this one is easy to calculate relatively. It's got fewer boxes than this one. And so let's do this. Let's look at these now to see, since they're easy to calculate, is to find out whether or not the top 2 rows and the bottom 2 rows are bad or okay. So starting here, we have true, negation true is false. So we have false or true. So this comes out true. Okay, good. So that tells us that this is an okay row because it has a true conclusion. So we're done with that row. Let's look at this one. We have true, negation of true is false. Did I do that right? Yes, I did that right. So we have true. Let's go back to this one. It happens occasionally, you get confused. So true, x is true, so negation x is false. So we have false or false. So this is going to be false. So this could be a counterexample row. Well, let's take a look. Let's do this one, because if it is if this comes out true, then this is going to be a counterexample row, and we would be done. So let's find out. Okay, so we have true or true, so this is true. We have false, so we have negation of false, so this is true. So we have if true, then true, so this is true. So we have true, true, false. Oh, okay, well this is a bad row because both the premises are true and the conclusion is false. So the argument, this is a bad row. We're done. So we'll click yes here, and we'll say the argument is not valid because here is our counterexample row. Okay, so the way we did this, we actually didn't have to fill out a lot of these boxes. We did these ones, which were easy, and then we did these two, this one, which is relatively easy, and that let us finish that row. And then we did this one, and that one was also relatively easy. And then this said, oh, well, this could be a bad row. Let's check that one. It's bigger, so we avoid doing it, but let's check it now because it might, if we finish it, it's going to tell us yes or no, it's a bad row. And it turned out that, in fact, this was true, making both the premises true and the conclusion false, making this row a bad row, making the argument invalid.